All right, this is um, a long-awaited new edition of Ted Fetch Perspective. I've been out for a while due to an obvious injury, which I'll talk about, and let you know what was going through my head, what I was thinking, what was I doing up there. How did it all fall? Where did it all start, and where am I going now? Well, that's the main thing. What am I doing with this second chance opportunity I've been given? And also just my perspective on the world in general. And keep in mind, when I say my perspective, understand first and foremost that I do understand there is other realities and other perspectives, and I don't have the higher perspective like some people do. When I say a higher perspective, I mean, the ultimate, the knowledge of this full earth experience and the fourth dimension, basically. I don't have access to that. However, it doesn't discount from what I see and what I believe and what's going on in my reality, which is the only reality I know, the one that I see and live daily. But let's turn back the clock. So I just got out of the hospital. Yeah, you can beep the horn all you want. I don't care. I just got out of the hospital yesterday. I'm fortunate to be alive. Fortunate because I think that it, and I'll touch on this a little bit, but so I think that to really understand what I was doing up there and why I jumped, which it was because I saw at the time all my options were taken. You guys know where I am. Well, not when I say you guys, some of y'all know where I'm going to be before I was going to be there. I know that a lot of times my moves are delayed. Like, things happen slower for me to change a future outcome timeline. I don't know exactly to what extent, other than maybe it prevents good things happening to me. Maybe there was a timeline where something great was about to happen, but they knew that if they just held me up at this one spot for X amount more minutes than I needed to be there, not only would I flip out and lose my light, and which that's what it's all about. I mean, at the end of the day, you keep your light on and energized by staying happy, by staying energized, which is a lot of things can do that. Music is a big one for me. But if you can have people that, systematically jump into your lane, one by one, kind of, you're cut off here in a lane. Next thing you know, you got this happening here, then three more things down the line, all planned by design, by the way, to systematically break you down, to make you lose your light, to make you lose what it is that keeps you strong and keeps you manifesting your reality the way you want it to be. So, that being said, and I've covered this in other podcasts before, but I go back to my truck, which ironically enough, I get a call today from my finance company talking to me about, and if anyone knows my podcast from before, or me in general these days, I'm very stickler on details, especially when it comes to the fact that I have a pretty damn good memory, especially when it's something I'm interested in or something that's happening that I need to know, I need to pay attention to. But I know for a fact that when my car mysteriously disappeared from a parking garage on Orange Avenue in downtown Orlando a little over 3 weeks ago, prior to my jump, I do know this, that I remember everything as far as what was said to me, who I was at, where we went, where I parked, and words that were exchanged. So I mean, there's no doubt that I would have had that whole crime / setup solved in a minute. So anyway, my finance company calls me today and says, hey, I called them back. I saw that a number called 727, called them up. Last time I heard from them, I called them because I was about to do my own investigation. So I called them to find out if they had the GPS coordinates on my vehicle. Figure with that, just buy here, pay here. I bought it at buy here, pay here. Damn near, you think that every damn near buy, I don't know who runs a buy here, pay here, but if anyone's bought a car at a buy here, pay here, or works at a buy here, pay here, you probably, it's almost like it should probably be mandatory, if not mandatory, as if that every car has a GPS that goes off that lot, considering they're holding the finances for that vehicle. You think that would be like if I owned a buy here, pay here, or if I'm financing a car that's been bought at a buy here, pay here, the first thing I want to know is where's the GPS on that thing. That's if I'm financing it from buy here, pay here, because some of those cars, not only do they get repoed and get back and put on the lot, and they get repoed again by a new owner. So yeah, I mean, this is a lot of money we're talking about here. So I called right away and said, hey, my car was taken. I filled out a police report. I'm just calling to see if you guys have the GPS coordinates so I can figure out where it's at. And they said, well, you can't call, sir. The police department has to call. A police detective. They have to make that phone call. So what do? I follow up with the police detective that they said was assigned to my case, which turns out that they said they called and they said they didn't have a GPS on the account. Well, I just talked to my finance company today and they go, no police officer ever called us. And I go, that doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me. I mean, because think about this. First off, is a requirement for Orlando. Any car that gets towed out of an Orlando parking garage, per Orlando law, they have to call the police department to find out if that vehicle has a lien on it, is repoed, or is stolen. That's the first call you make. The parking garage has to call, or the tow company, one of the two or both, has to make. It's required. They have to call the police department before they tow a vehicle from a downtown parking garage. So when I found out that didn't happen, the first thing I said was, that's one other thing they didn't do. Never was it ever, where's my car? I wonder if I parked it in a different parking garage. No, that never happened. But anyway, bottom line is today, no one called, and I'm over it now, because I don't want to waste too much time on this. Because first off, it's got 270,000 miles on it. And guess what now? I've been in the hospital for 3 weeks. My prior arrangement with that vehicle was I had to pay $555, and then my next payment was June 2nd, or June 4th, excuse me. And then I was back on track with my payments. Well, guess what's not happening now? Since I've been in the hospital for 3 weeks. So what would I do? You want me to go fight this battle with, the unwilling participants that are not really trying to find my vehicle? Because they probably know where it might be at, possibly, just hypothetically saying. Yeah, I'm not gonna waste my time on that. By the time I get my vehicle back, it'll be repoed for sure. Because now I definitely can't afford it. And guess what? It's not June 4th anymore. So they're going to be looking to take back that vehicle anyway. But it was just astonishing to me that they said that no one from the police department had called them to even verify if the GPS, if where the GPS coordinates of the vehicle was. So that was like, wow, I was in a good mood too. I was like, man, don't get me started on this thing again. I'm just now realizing that car, I like to think that accident commercials that I kept hearing, maybe they took that vehicle. Thank you, guys. This is what I love to do. Thank you so much, whoever took my vehicle, for preventing me from getting in that car accident. You were looking out for my safety, and I thank you for that. You did me a favor. And I'm sure you knew you were doing it too. You know why I do that? Because that pisses them off. Because they're like, fuck no, we were trying to take your damn car because we hate you, you know. But then I turn it around. And I'm like, you know what? You were making sure I didn't get in that accident. And they go, oh, man. But anyway, that's enough of that. So there's that one thing. Now here's the thing, and this is what I call a manufactured event. I've coined that phrase, manufactured event, because manufactured events happen all the time, especially to me. Manufactured events are when the Starbucks store closes down just for you. Manufactured event. It's not like the Starbucks store was nothing like something happened inside and only I couldn't get served. No, it was a manufactured event. It's closed down, stopped business for me. At least it was blatant about it by putting a nice sign on the window that I took a picture of that says, "We're still open." Who the fuck says that? I mean, where's that for? Not for me. We're still open. I had to read that 5 times after I didn't realize what it said when I took the picture. But then I was like, 5:55 p.m. What does that mean? I don't know anymore. But I know that picture, that sign says we're open. But not for me. Now another manufactured event is the car being taken. It was taken, not stolen. No, I could prove that, actually, literally. But it was taken from me. Why? So it prevents me from making moves. It prevents my lifestyle from... It prevents me from having happiness in my life. It prevents me from running day-to-day errands. It prevents me from able to get from point A to point... It prevents everything. So when back in the day, when I used to like really go hard on drugs and I was a certified drug addict and I ripped my life into shambles... and then I ended up homeless. Guess what? That was all on me. I did that to myself, and now I have to pick myself up from the bottom and rise up. You know? And I did that, but the thing of it is that was me. I did that. This situation that I'm in now, that's not because of me. Did I jump off that parking garage? Absolutely I did. And it was 5th floors up. If it would have been 7 floors, 10 floors, 15 floors, I would have jumped off that. But unfortunately, at that time, in the mindset I was at, this is as high as it goes. And I made sure I jumped off the highest part of that thing. And why did I do that? Because I could not stand the fact that I would be in a world that I felt like they hated me so much. And the people around me, not all of them, by the way, but all my moves, everything I did, all the angles, I looked at all the angles and they were all prove that no matter what, even when I'm fully aligned at the time, I still end up getting hurt, getting my car stolen, getting, a jackpot taken away from me at literally at the casino. All my moves, like no matter what, even when I'm aligned. And I thought that when, because when I'm first awakened, I listened to a lot of like Abraham Hicks and Esther Hicks and Lori Ladd, and most of them, by the way, are all pump faking. At least Abraham Hicks these days, she gives it to me kind of real. She always has, actually. She hasn't really lied about anything. Lori Ladd is the one that got me. I should have known better, because the source of how I got her info kind of got me too. So most of the spiritual groups are only just fronts for light workers and all that stuff. It's all just a bunch of smoke and mirrors to get you to side with something that, at the end they bait and switch you. But not to say that, and by the way, not to say that there's a wrong or right way. Well, first off, I don't even know what's real anymore. I used to think, here's what I thought when I first awoke him, just because, I read a lot of shit, and from what I understood, this is what I came to believe. Now, whether this is true or not, I'm not certain. But this is what I believed. At least even now, I still somewhat believe this is kind of true. But I could be completely. I'll be the first to admit, I could be completely wrong on all this. But this is what they make you. This is what they lead you up to believe. Now, first off, in the spiritual communities and stuff like that, everyone, for the most part, isn't really into religion. I believe that there has been intelligent life on this planet. I don't even know nowadays. Now I'm wondering, is that even a real thing? But on this planet, I believe for over 1 million years, I believe that the Earth experience was a place that you could go to higher your conscious level, to live out lives in a different dimensional, you can basically progress. I think at one point, from what I understood from one of the, or more than one of the YouTube channels I was watching, it had up to 12 degrees that you could go to. And then I heard that at one point in time, some of the higher degree conscious light beings created lower conscious light beings that can't go past the fourth dimension. This is one of Lori Ladd's videos, I believe. And so therefore, that's the reason that the fourth dimension beings didn't want us to the Earth to rise past or ascend past the 3D duality, because that they could still stay in the fourth dimension and come down to the third dimension. So therefore, they would obviously have the most power. And being that if they could not go past the fourth dimension, then that would be the reason that they would be wanting the Earth to stay where it's at now. But then, but if that's true or not, I still don't know. The more I think I know, the more I realize I don't know. But that's neither here nor there. So then I started thinking a lot about this, because I always say, Earth has got to be a big deal. Even for the fourth dimension, for the ones that have access to both realities, Earth has got to be a big deal. I wonder if any of this is I used to think that the Syrians, the Arcturians, species, there's all kinds of all these, the World Galactic Federation of Light. I think that's just a ruse. I think that's just I don't know. I know the moon's fake. I do know that. I can pretty much guarantee that. And it's hollow in the middle. Well, so is Earth, but I think all the planets are. But then I look at where I'm at now and all the attention that's been on me, and I say, well, I have to be something special or something different than what they're used to here. And then I think about Elon Musk, when he said something about this being a simulation, and that maybe only a couple 100,000 people are the real life, players, I guess. Well, that would have to definitely be me, because as of now, not saying that I haven't had past lives and I don't have and I didn't come here and I actually signed up for this, but as far as like memories concerned, I'm awakened and I get more knowledge and I channel, but I don't know any other reality other than Earth. I can't, like, as of now, I haven't been able to see beyond the 3D dimensional Earth reality that I've known since I've been born 44 years ago. Probably by design, you know. But so anyway, I know I got to start trying to focus my thoughts. I get on tangents, and sometimes, most of the time, all the time, don't know where I'm going with these. Don't know how they're gonna end. But yeah, I kind of fucked up myself pretty bad when I jumped. But fortunately, I could have been a lot worse too. So I am thankful, and I do think it meant something. I do think it and keep in mind, when I jumped, I was serious. I wasn't like, I mean, I didn't hesitate. I went up to that ledge and jumped. I didn't look down, I just jumped. And I smiled, literally. Because I thought that I would be able to have the other perspective too now. And I would be able to play the game or whatever this is with both sides just like everyone else could. But I was also sick of the fact that I could not get anywhere. And I was being like, you know, no matter what I did, no matter if I was aligned, not aligned, whatever, I was not able to move forward. And the fact that the thought that all this shit, I'm going to end up homeless, I have no food stamp card, all this shit, and all because of something that is not all manufactured events that caused this, not any on my own. Like, when I jumped, yes, I have injuries now that I have to deal with from the fall, and I have rehabilitation, and I have to get stronger, and that's all because of the fact that I jumped. Now, not to say that everything at the hospital was done, I would hope it was done properly, but I'm just saying that when I jumped off that roof and I, you know, hurt myself, that was on me. If I get in a car accident when I'm driving, you know, I'm texting, whatever, something like that, I get in a car accident, that's me. I did that. Whatever consequences happen from that, that's on me. But when you're brought to the level of like you're about out on the street now, and it's not, and all the things that led up to that are because of things that were caused to you, that were done to you from other people. That's something that pissed me off, that I couldn't quite, I wasn't going to allow happen. I was just like, man, and I saw all the angles, and I saw that no matter what I do, no matter how aligned I am, you know, they're still coming at me, and it doesn't matter what happens. Doesn't matter if I change my diet, doesn't matter whatever they tell me. And the same people, by the way, that are telling me all the things that I need to do to be better are the same ones that are rooting for my downfall. Not all the time, but that happens a lot. So I thought, well, at least now when I jump, if I'm dead, I'll have the higher perspective, and I'll be able to play the game like they do now, back and forth. But it was also because I was just overwhelmed and hurt, and I was hurt inside. I was emotionally, you know, bankrupt. I was at a point where I was like, man, I'm not going to allow that to happen. I won't do it. I'll go out on my own, but I'm not going to allow that to happen where my suffering has been made and I'm now on the streets with no food now and put in that predicament all because of stuff that other people have done to me and nothing that I've done because of my own fault, of my own. But then I thought, and trust me, my mind goes around this whole thing a million times. So then I start thinking, well, you know what, Ted? You know what they say? Let's just say that I can, let's bring it back. Let's try. And I do believe this. You can manifest and create your reality. But the fact of the matter is this, is that also when, then I go back to, well, if you think about that, Ted, if that is true and it's true, well, then how in the world did your car get stolen when you were completely and totally aligned, more so than you might have ever been before? And then you go, well, then what difference does it make? If I'm happy inside, if I'm fully aligned and I have bad things happen, then what does that state about you being able to create your own reality? No one would pick that, not me, for that to happen, especially when you're fully aligned. And then so then I go, well, there's a lot more to this than obviously I don't know. But at the end of the day, here's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to stop. Now, I've been blessed with a second chance. And, I'm going to make the most out of it. I'm going to make the most out of it. I'm going to still speak my truth. I cannot not speak my truth. I mean, that's one thing I think everyone should do. I hate being muffled. I just want to be able to state what is my reality without being called schizophrenic or crazy, because I know it to be true and I don't have auditory or visual hallucinations. Never have. Yeah, so my back's kind of, I broke my femur, I broke my back, punctured a lung. I got a rod in my leg now. I got to go get staples out tomorrow. My walking is like, I have a walker, but it wears me out. I gotta, but I'm just up and walking around mainly for a couple of days now. I just literally I've been laying down most of the part in the hospital for the most of the time I was there. But you know what? And I still have to say that there's a lot that I'm finding out about myself too. Because I hate to toot my own horn, but I got to give it to myself, and I'm proud of myself for pushing through. It hasn't been easy. It hasn't been pretty sometimes, honestly. But at the end of the day, I'm here for a reason. I believe that. I believe I'm here for a reason. And I'm going to make sure that I do my best to live up to the highest expectations that I have for myself, for be able to do what I feel I have to do for not only me, but for my soul's purpose. And that means that, I got to get on it. I got to get on it. I got to I'm not going to sit here and be crying about my back and stuff. Yeah, it hurts, but I got shit I got to do tomorrow still. I'm about homeless again now. My mom, bless her soul, paid for my room for this week. But that's 1 week. I got 1 week, and then I got to, I want to get a job. I want to still do my company. There's a lot of things I got going, and I got to start prioritizing. I got to start making sure that I get with it, and man, there's so much I want to do too. You know, so many ideas I have and so many things I want to do. I got to start prioritizing and start. But I got to make sure I'm healthy at the same time. And I just want to say this, that, yeah, I did what I did, and I'm, at some time, I like to believe that it had some effect on at least the way you guys see me, or perhaps at least for me, knowing that I don't know, in a weird way, I was like, it was my way of taking over the game in the sense of my life. When you got everyone at your corners, everyone coming from all angles, no matter what you do, you feel like you can't get nowhere. And you see that no matter where you go, your moves are already seen before you. Then what can you do? Well, if you're me, you jump. But anyway, it's been a long day, guys. It's been a long 3 weeks. It's been a long I'm just getting back in the swing of things, and I'm wore out today. So I'm going to cut this one short, and hope everyone has a wonderful week. And hopefully we're going to start getting some... Don't count me fully out, man. Don't ever count me out. I'm actually just feel like I'm just reborn now. I feel like I got a lot of showing, maybe a lot less talking, but I love to talk. So, but anyway, I'll catch you soon. Bye.